Manchester United 4, Wolves 1, comfy 3 points in the end. And honest to God, it could have been 7 or 8 today. Just seeing that we created over 4 XG, and I'm not going to lie to you, a little bit more ruthlessness, and that could have been a cricket score. And we would have needed every one of those goals as well. I remember we were kind of cheering it on downstairs, thinking more. For like proper put the nail in the coffin. That was a Wolves side, which is probably one of the worst sides I've seen in the Premier League in a long time. I've not really watched them much this season. And looking at them today, boy, they're nailed on to go down. They're miles off it, physically, technically. The crowd's giving up on him. Looked like a toxic environment. And United capitalised. And honest to God, it could have been more. And every goal is going to count and matter. We talk about the parity in the league. We talk about how close it is. Our goal difference +4 now. We need to start creeping that up a little bit because it can and probably will matter come the end of the season. But the first half, you know what? The first half's interesting. Let's go chronological. Let's talk about the game in order. And the first 10, 15 minutes, I was like, every time we put 2-3 passes together, we're tearing these open, carving them open. And I thought we could be in for a proper enjoyable watch here. Run up the score, couldn't really see where a goal would have come from them. And I thought we played some good football and battered them for the first 15, 20. And then all of a sudden, obviously we end up scoring a goal as well, Bruno's tenacity. And then all of a sudden we switch off and then it just goes slow, it goes a little bit complacent. And then Wolves come back into the game. And honest to God, without them even being that great, that last 20 minutes of the first half didn't even look like a Premier League match. It looked like Sunday League at Hough End in Chorlton. Honestly. And then switch off at the back post and it's 1-1. And you're thinking, that's Wolves' first goal in 5 games. They haven't scored a goal in 2 months. United can't keep a clean sheet. And you're just thinking, here we go again. Surely not tonight. And you would have felt like it would have been a watershed moment. But I still felt at half-time, every time the likes of, and Boomer had a really, really poor game in general. He had a really poor first half. He was better in the second half. I thought Cunha wasn't great as either. Erratic, kind of trying to take too many shots. I thought Mount was really, really good today. That was Mount's best game in a United shirt. No questions asked. I thought he was brilliant today. Defensively, on the ball. Some of his touches, some of his turns, some of his quality. Listen, I've been a Mount critic, but today he moved me. I'm not going to lie. And I'm hoping those are performances I want to see. When I see stuff like that, I'm like, give me more. Give me more United. Like, this is what, build upon it. Instead of winning games and then you just never know. We've got Bournemouth, Villa next, and you're thinking, damn, you're going to lose Mbeumo, you're going to lose Amad Diallo. This was the time we looked at the West Ham Wolves game and thought, we need to collect points in these. We'll come out of it with 4 points out of 6. Probably a little bit disappointed thinking they're both beatable, but it's not exactly the end of the world. United are now 6th in the league, and they're thereabouts still. No matter how much I've been complaining, no matter how much we're kind of trying to struggle to see the sustainable vision, United still have themselves in the mix for Europe as things stand, and that's facts. Do you know what I mean? And that's literally what the table shows. And we need to capitalise on the league being like it is, and on the inconsistencies of like a Tottenham and Liverpool and even Newcastle still trying to get their act together. Because when we go into these next run of fixtures over the Christmas period and into the new year, and you don't have your whole right side of the team, you don't want to be having to desperately gather points in them situations. You want a little bit of leeway. So this is why cementing points right now is really important. But honestly, second half, we stepped it up, started passing to each other, played up the intensity a little bit, and it felt like we was going to score every time we went forward. That's the United I know I love. There's some good players in this team. They're not always consistent. Sometimes I think, obviously we talk about tactics, talk about hammering, but I feel like some of the players in the first half weren't even doing the basics right in terms of their technical execution. But I tell you what, when these players, some of these players in this team, when they get things right, we have some really good players, and I don't care what people say. We have some top-class players. Even when they're not playing like it, I'm talking about the quality. Form's temporary, quality is permanent. and there's quality throughout that team. Good footballers with good brains. I feel like the players like each other. There's chemistry there. Actually, it might sound deluded, but it's my bad. But I really do think the composition of the squad. Obviously, there's a couple of things that need to be added in terms of midfield. But I do think there's a base there from a quality level of something that can be very competitive in this league. And I'm talking up towards the top, not around mid-table. It just needs consistency and something to be squeezed out of it. It needs to be moulded in a way where it just works, almost like connective tissue. Like, there needs to be synergy there. Because we can talk about how bad Wolves are and then how much stock you can actually put in it. You can only ever play what's in front of you. Scoring 4 goals, I'm upset that we conceded. I feel like the facts that we've kept 1 clean sheet in all competitions all season, it's a huge indictment, and it's going to be tough to win games when you're spotting teams' goals. So that is something that needs to be sewn up. But scoring the 4 and could have even scored more, that's what I'm happy about. The players look happy. It's a confidence boost. You go into a Bournemouth game, a Bournemouth team that have been a little bit shaky of late. They're beatable as well. And as I said, United have opportunity to go on a run of form, but it's the inconsistency. But as you said, it's not really just United, it's the league in general. But a performance like today does relieve the pressure. I feel like a 2-1 win scrape, people will still be asking questions. But when you score 4 and you look comfortable doing it in the second half, kind of suck the life out of Wolves, that's what good teams do to poor teams. So you take the 3 points, you take the goals, you go through the team. I would have liked to have seen Shea Lacey get a debut. I thought that was good conditions. I'm not sure how often United are going to be 4-1 up in games where it's comfortable, the game's already won, where you can bring on one of your next academy stars to be, hopefully. But maybe he wants to do it at Old Trafford in front of his home fans. Obviously, you don't want to complain too much, but I definitely felt like there was an opportunity there to bring him on. And I'm also happy that Mainu come on the pitch. I thought Mainu looked decent when he come on. He looked composed, as he always does. He looked comfortable on the ball, in possession. He looked strong. Life without Ugarte. Not going to talk too much about that kid, but life without him, I think he'd put a little bit of control in there. I think there's no reason why that shouldn't always be a substitution, and that should always be Mainu coming on and getting minutes, because he's got qualities that he's got qualities individually that no one else in the team has. It's just his deficiencies apparently in terms of athleticism that in this system where the midfield 2 do require a lot of legs, and if you don't require a lot of legs, you need to require that dueling experience and positioning that obviously Casemiro possesses. Thought Mazraoui was good today. Luke Shaw, for Aiden Heaven. That's how you bounce back. Showed me he had character. Had a tough game the other day, and he played really well today. Thought he found himself. Can go around the team. Thought Delo. I think Delo's quietly had a good few games. Hey, listen. Told you that's my guy. Got himself the assist as well, and Bumo get himself on a score sheet. He did score, but obviously, in terms of his performance, it weren't great. I think Cunha was similar, got an assist. He got lucky with the pass. Thought Ahmad was probably one of our biggest threats. I think he's been a threat for a few weeks now. With his quality, he's 1v1 dribbling. There's talent there, man. There's quality. The way the league is now, the way I'm looking at it, United have a chance to finish that top 5 if he's serious. How much belief do I have in that? I'm not quite sure. Every time that we do get a little bit carried away and we win a game, the team has a funny way of letting us down. But listen, there's no reason for that. I'm just a happier guy when we win. I'm just happier. 3.6 plus 4 goal difference. Goal difference is always a massive indicator of how a team's performing. United have spent too much time in the minuses, hovering around 0 and 1. This gives us a little bit of breathing room. And it's going to matter because the league's as tight as it is. Having positive goal difference like that can invariably be like +1 in terms of the points column. And now we go into the next run of games. We've played the West Ham, we've played the Wolves, we've got Bournemouth, Villa, Newcastle. In January, we've got Leeds at Ellen Road, we've got City and Arsenal back-to-back. We're going to find out a lot about Manchester United over the next 6 weeks. We're all going to be there to watch or witness it. But nah, listen, I'm chuffed. Barely had any sleep last night thinking about this game. I was concerned. Had a 12-hour shift. 12 hour. I've been in the office since 9 a.m. and it's 11 p.m. now. But I can actually sleep with a bit of peace of mind now. I got nothing to moan about. But yeah, man, we got the job done. We beat Wolves. We should have. I think that was the only acceptable result today. They're really poor side. But you got to beat what's in front of you. I think we did it with a bit of style in the end. We take the 3 points and now not get too carried away, but we need to build on it. And we'll see if United do. But remember to like, comment, subscribe if you're new, hype the video. And I will see you next time. Wow.